What's up, everyone, and welcome back to the Book Report. Today, we're talking about the Book of Boba Fett, Chapter 3, The Streets of Mos Espa. Molly, are you excited?
Yeah, I'm always excited to talk about these shows. You know me.
I know you. I'm familiar with you. I am so excited for our guest. Today, we have Talking Star Wars with us, the star of Archer, and also, more importantly, our friend, Lucky Yates. Welcome to the show. Lucky Yates, baby.
Hello, friends. It's me, Lucky Yates, baby. I just incorporated today, and that's the name of my corporation.
Yes. Lucky Yates, baby LLC.
Incorporated,
okay.
Yeah. It's an actual entity now. So I'm breaking news right here.
Fantastic. Yeah, an exclusive drop. We're not even
just
here
dealing
to talk
with
about
me.
the Book of Boba Fett.
You're dealing with an entire entity right now.
How many people are in your room right now? Do you have a whole team telling you what you
my whole
can't
team
say?
is here. He's sitting right in front of this laptop. It's me and old laptop here.
Well, we're
very
glad
excited.
to have your whole team here.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be not only on this brilliant show, which I watch all the time on the YouTubes because I'm a YouTube junkie, but also to talk about not only Star Wars, but Boba Fett.
Hell yeah. Well, let's dive into that. What did you
think we ever needed, but I'm glad we have it. What? Anyway, yes, what?
Yeah, what do you think of the show so far? A show that you didn't think we needed.
I really did not think we needed it. I thought it was just too fan servicey. Like if they just showed him and he had survived and then he got his armor back in the Mandalorian and then that was it. It was great. But I love it. I love because I didn't think I was just like, it's just gonna be the Mandalorian, but with now Boba Fett. But it's not at all. It really is like they are building the character. They're filling in so brilliantly what we all wondered: if he survived, what was he doing? And so really over the course of 3 episodes made us really care about that. And you know, he had fallen in with the Tuscans, and you know, the whole thing is so, I think, beautiful. And also him coming out and sort of forging a new path and saying, like, I'm a complete babe in the woods now of like, who is Boba Fett going forward? And, you know, he's taking all of his life lessons and learning. I don't doubt that we'll see him kicking some serious ass at some point.
I think so too, yeah.
But I really do dig reserved Boba Fett. But when you think about it, I mean, you know, he had 8 lines or something in the 2 movies. He was reserved anyway. He wasn't some kind of hot-headed, fast gun. You know, he was just he was very cool.
A man of few words
that he did. Yeah.
Were you on board?
I think it's great.
The first episode, or it took me the second episode, I think.
Yeah, you didn't. I noticed that. I was surprised you didn't like it. I was hooked immediately. I was like, I think it's great that I loved all of the Tuscan stuff. You know, and a lot of it is I think you mentioned this today in your thing. All of it is very tropey, but like, what in Star Wars isn't at this point? It's, you know, it's borrowing all the greatest stuff from all the greatest things, and you know, giving us stuff we've seen before. It's really awesome, and you know, showing it from a certain point of view, so that we might, you know, it's all gray. It's all gray areas, guys, except for Palpatine.
He's the one, the one just full on dark side. So, I like this. I kind of agreed, just that a lot of people, I think, were coming in thinking it was going to be Boba Fett, just a badass all the time. I was like afraid that's what they were going to do.
He's like a big teddy bear.
He'll still blow somebody up. He'll still blow someone to smithereens.
Yeah, he's got no problem killing a guy. I will say, I was a little bummed out at the one assassin that they dropped into the Rancor pit, and then, you know, we realized that it was empty. He was not willing to give up his secrets. They were going to slice his throat. The Pig Brothers, whatever their names are. Do they have names yet? The Gamora
Pig 2
Twins.
Yeah, they're just called guards in the credit right now.
Yeah.
Really? Oh man, what do they do on the action figure? I guess just sell them as a set. I think they have to have names at this point, don't they? Anyway,
I bet they do. Pablo
he,
Hidalgo.
he wouldn't give up, and he was gonna die in that gruesome way. But then, like, ratted in a second about the who hired him when suddenly it was going to be a Rancor. We've seen how Rancors kill people. It's like not a big deal.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I think it would be
Compared
a
to
lot
getting
better
your
to just
throat
have your head
slit.
cut off. That seems faster than being chomped on.
I mean, oh, you get to experience so much in your final moment that way. The breath, what it tastes like inside of a Rancor mouth. How many people get to have that experience?
That's true.
Probably a lot in Jabba's palace.
Well, maybe. I mean, you
Well,
know,
I
Rancor
want to
wouldn't
start
fat.
getting into. I want to start getting into the third episode here, and I'd like to go ahead and just kick it
let's
off with
do
our.
since we talked Rancor.
Yeah, hell yeah. Lucky, were you able to do a drawing of your favorite scene?
Oh man, I forgot all about that, but I will do one while we're doing this.
Okay, great.
Can you hang on while I go get supplies?
Yeah,
Right.
Yes.
We'll
Okay,
cover
just
Molly's
vamp.
picture
Hey,
first.
you guys vamp.
Molly, why don't you show up your picture?
Well, no surprise here. My favorite part of this episode was the Rancor, and specifically Boba Fett falling in love with the Rancor. And the Rancor imprinting on Boba Fett.
All right.
Just
Oh,
two
look at
peas in a
this.
pod.
I
Look
completely
at
agree.
this.
Best
Bonding.
friends.
Pair bonding.
That's Molly actually told me what she was drawing this week, and so I was like, "That's what I was going to draw," so I couldn't do that. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of get a sense of where
Right.
everyone was at.
Is this supposed to be my favorite moment of today's episode?
Yes.
Mhm.
Great.
Or
Let's
just like
talk about
any
it while I'm drawing.
any standout moments.
While
this is
you
gonna be the
prepare,
best.
I'll go ahead and I'll show off my second favorite since Molly took my.
Oh, she
favorite.
hijacked your thing.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
the
she
same
took
way that
mine.
I just hijacked your intro to this. I'm so sorry.
I drew mine like hours ago, so just because I wanted to get it in ahead of time.
I was going to draw something similar, but instead I went with my second favorite moment, and it's the attack of Black Chrysanthemum. I got a real big laugh out of how they just dumped his back to tank open.
Well, that was
like,
the thing. It was shocking, right? I think
Yeah.
I literally gasped when that
Oh, we
happened.
did too.
It scared me.
It was really, really great.
I thought it was edited very well. I was going to draw like the Black Chrysanthemum fight, but I drew Black Chrysanthemum last week, so I really liked Boba's
like
big
your,
eyes.
sort
when
of
he got caught.
fuzzy electro hands that you're using.
Yeah, but bring it back up because Boba Fett kind of looks like Squidward, or is that the guy from
SpongeBob.
SpongeBob?
Oh, it's so good. Oh wait,
love it.
I know. Hold on, I'm gonna draw. I'll draw my favorite moment. But let's continue. I'm gonna draw while we talk.
What was your favorite moment of the episode, Lucky?
Okay, I will say this. As much as I love the Hutt twins rolling up with a Rancor as a gift, which first of all, let's not. I mean, I'm glad they're bonding, but you know, are we going to trust the Hutts? We're not trusting these Hutts. Like, okay, we're just going to go home now. No, it's cool. We thought about it. It's cool. Like, that's not happening. As much as I love that they rolled up with the Rancor, as soon as I saw Danny Trejo walking up, I was like, there's the gift right there.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
We're giving you Danny Trejo. And it'd be like, yeah. So awesome. So I'm drawing Danny Trejo.
He
I
was
think,
excellent.
Yeah, I think Alex's
He always
reaction
is. Danny
was just-
Trejo elevates everything he's always in because he's just so badass.
He really does. And like Alex, I think I was editing our reaction video earlier and you just like pointed at the screen. You were like, Danny Trejo. And we just like clapped and we were like, yay.
I feel like we talked about the possibility of him being in this show at one point because it was Robert Rodriguez and he so often works with him. And then I kind of forgot about it. So having him pop up was thrilling. I'm so glad that he made it into the show.
Mm-hmm.
And he was great as a Rancor keeper. It's like
He's
a role he was born to
perfect.
play.
He's perfect. He's exactly like he's a badass. He's got to be a badass. He's dealing with a giant wild beast, but also he's like really sensitive guy. Like Danny Trejo is a great actor.
Yeah.
And
He's
can
like the
really pull
Caesar
off
Milan
sensitive
of
stuff,
Star
and
Wars.
so it's really perfect.
He's
He's
really
the
in
Rancor
tune.
Whisperer.
Yeah, he's in tune with his emotions and the Rancor's emotions. Because like the first thing he says about the Rancor is like, "Yeah, man, he's depressed.
Yeah,
Look at him."
yeah, they're sad. They're really emotional creatures.
That's
Yeah.
like got to be a hallmark of all Rancor keepers, I guess, is that they're not afraid to cry. They're not afraid to fall in love with an animal. I love them.
And when Boba Fett goes over and like starts giving him ear scratches, he kind of like smiles and nods, and he's like, "Yeah."
I've been noticing there's a.
Here's my real quick Danny Trejo
let me pull that up big.
walking up. There he is, Danny Trejo walking up.
Yes.
I got a Rancor. They're really sensitive creatures.
The
I also love
mustache is
the-
great.
I'm
The shout
sad,
out to
Danny
Dathomir.
Trejo. I love him so much. I was so pumped. I would watch a whole show of Danny Trejo, the Rancor Keeper.
Yes.
I'm saying they should do like a Caesar Milan style show where he just goes from planet to planet. He
Training
helps.
people's naughty Rancors.
Yeah, yeah.
That would be the best. Here's what you're doing. You have to bond with it. It's imprinted on another human. You have to become the new human. Danny Trejo. He can do no wrong.
Yeah. It also made me appreciate Malakili even more, the Rancor Keeper from Return of the Jedi, because
Yeah, and why he cries and all that kind of stuff. Sorry, I just bumped up
Yeah.
in volume there.
because like I mean, I don't know if it's only humans that they imprint on, but clearly Malakili was probably the one he had imprinted on, and they had a special
of course.
relationship.
I mean, yeah, like what I love the way, and this is really the Favreau era of sort of explaining things. I'm not a big fan of explaining things that happened, in other movies.
What are you
and
doing
stuff of
here,
like,
man?
what
You
is
know what the show
history
is
behind
called?
that thing? But I will say that they are handling all that kind of stuff so beautifully, so that you really do go like, wow, that really gives a lot of weight to this, because it was a throwaway gag in in Jedi, where it's just like, oh, and then he cries, and isn't that funny, big giant man. It was like every kid in the audience laughed.
Mhm.
I saw these things first run, guys. I was like 9 going on 10 when the first Star Wars came out, so I'm in this for life. I'm the guy.
I totally agree with you that they're doing all this kind of fan servicey stuff, but they're doing it very well, and they're
so
bringing
well.
new meaning to the story. They're making you look back at A New Hope and Attack of the Clones and now Return of the Jedi, where you're like, well, I'm never going to watch that scene the same way again.
Yeah,
Like that's
It's great.
legitimately going to be sad the next time.
Yeah, it's really amazing. It's amazing. Dave Pascasi that's in these things. He's done workshops with us, and like he's always talking about making just these little tiny things so important, and it's like it's brilliant that's a lesson that really like nailed its way into my head about improv. From a guy who's now the guy who taught it to me is in Star Wars, where they're doing exactly that. It's really great.
He's the major domo, right?
Yeah.
I'm loving
cool.
him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's hilarious. He is like one of the world's greatest improvisers.
He was
I
like
did not know that.
my favorite thing, I think, about the first episode. We joked about like he
Oh my
understood
God,
the
he's so
assignment.
funny.
He played his character so well.
He had this like he would like half close one of his eyes in this really kind of perfectly kind of condescending and kind of I don't give a crap way. Like it was just mwah. Every moment nuanced. It was perfect. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's really great. I really
Well,
like that dipshit that sits at the front desk of the mayor's office.
I
dude.
like him too.
That stoner guy. He's hilarious.
The little shove they
I
gave
don't
him
care
this
what that
episode.
guy's name. That guy needs an action figure of him just sitting there at that desk,
Yeah, just so
or
you can knock him
standing, or
over.
whatever he's doing there.
That man's playing Galaga.
Yeah.
Let's start just
me.
walking through the episode a little bit. So,
Oh yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, we started off with the watermonger kind of coming to Boba Fett saying,
Stephen
Another
Root.
cool,
Yeah,
yeah,
he's
another
never-
great
the
Cameo.
ever-present Stephen Root. Yeah, never doesn't nail it. That guy
Mhm.
always nails it.
He was
And
great.
I felt like he was kind of playing against character where
Yeah, he was
I
playing
guess
a dick.
I'm so used to Milton. Like that was my
Right.
first Stephen Root character. But here he's playing again, kind of like a condescending
Yeah,
jerk.
he's an amazing dramatic actor. As
Mhm.
like screwy as he can be, he's a brilliant dramatic actor.
I liked him
So yeah,
throwing that like test at Boba Fett to be
Yeah.
like, here's the problem. I want to see how you handle this. And then
Yeah.
like he's obviously following Boba Fett because the second he handles it wrong, he comes running out like, no, 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 no. So
Mhm.
what did you think of all the stuff between the water merchant?
I love
and-
it. I think it's amazing. You know, it really is the test of like, all right, here's the deal, dude. This is the shop owner's got this thing going on, and we're making all the big profits, and we're doing here's the racket. You in? Because it looks like you're not in. And Boba's like, fuck you, I'm not in, and I'm gonna fuck you up. And then he's like, oh, all right, well.
Look, he said he was going to try real hard to not swear today.
Oh yeah, sorry. Did I already blow it? I'm so sorry,
It's fine.
everyone.
But yeah, he's like this like gang of youths that have been stealing my
First, I
water.
love the mod kids. I love those goofy swoop bikes that are just Vespas from the 60s. There's mods from the 60s. They're so great. They're kind of
Yeah.
dressed up in a way, and they like the lead lady has like a million rear view mirrors on her little swoop spa thing
Yeah.
they got going on there. It was
I'm
pretty
not
hilarious.
quite
The
sold on
cybernetic
them
kids.
yet, but
Huh?
Yeah.
I'm not quite
It-
sold on them yet.
It's hokey, but whatever. Like great. It starts with a little street gang. That's where it starts, right? Like I'm gonna recruit this cool little street gang of punks who are like, I love that they're little cybernetic kids. It's great.
I didn't know that they are straight up called the mods in the audio
Mhm.
description. Okay.
Is
Yeah.
it? Are they really?
Mhm.
That's the name of their group? Oh, perfect.
Because they have
Ah!
modifications, but also mods. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just didn't like
cool.
their bikes. I didn't like that they looked like little video game character bikes that or like
They
Monopoly
look like Vespas.
pieces.
They look like the mods.
That's,
The
our
way
friend,
they tricked out their Vespa scooters in the 60s. It was this big London thing, and that like
Yeah.
they looked exactly like those, except in swoop.
our friend,
form.
the Templin Institute, another YouTube channel, called them. He texted me today and called them Mos Vespa, and I was like, "That's really good.
Yeah, that's great.
good."
Yeah, they should have done that.
I think they'll definitely grow on me, but they do feel very George Lucas to me.
Yeah, which you
George
got
loved cars.
everything that sort of came before you in a way. He's involved again, isn't he? Isn't he back in the sitting
Seems
there
like he likes
in
to
a little
jump on
producer
set
chair
and-
sometimes and going like, yeah. The one thing I think that may have made the bikes a little more palatable was if they were Star Wars dirty. They were
Yeah,
so
they were really
clean
clean.
and shiny and bright, which I think is probably a conscious choice because that's the way mods kept their Vespas, were just in mint condition. And so it was like, you got to be a Gen Xer or above to really appreciate what Robert Rodriguez is going for, which we'll get to the chase, which was terrible. I agree. And really shocking at the end when I saw that it was Robert Rodriguez that directed this episode. I was like, with that crappy, just so slow chase, it looked like old people running after each other.
The chase was very awkward. I guess we can kind of jump around to the episode.
I mean, we don't have to.
We're talking about the mods. We can talk about the chase.
But like as soon as I watched the chase start, I was like, well, I appreciate that it looked like they were trying to do everything with like practical effects, but the bikes just looked like they were on these like amusement park tracks.
Yeah.
And kind of like going
Yeah.
around really
kind
slow.
of bumping
They
around and
probably were. They're probably not. They, camera dollies or whatever they had going on. They probably did it on a. I'm assuming there are limits to the budgets in these things.
Yeah.
There what, like 5 people in that gang or something. Like, there's a lot of bikes you gotta try to make fly around with expensive effects. So
Yeah.
I remember when it
could have
like
sped it up. Maybe I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't know what the right answer is.
the chase started, and I was like, okay, here we go. This is gonna be cool. And then I just kept waiting for it to like
Yeah, no, it
actually
never got
start, and it just
cool.
seemed
It
like
was
people
pretty
riding
boring.
around the city.
Yeah,
And
Yeah.
with some things occasionally in the way.
yeah,
And then
like,
he fell
some
on a bunch
people-
of fruits.
Yeah. Some people said that the chase was slow because they were trying to go, throughout the city and it was really tight spaces. But I was like, I mean, they kind of did that in Solo. Like
but
Han
it was
had
Han
to drive
Solo
his little
driving.
speeder
Now you got this
in and out of
nerdy
these.
Major Domo.
Yeah.
He's no Han Solo. He can't be pulling them tricks.
Yeah. So like Solo did it. They could have punched it up a
people-
little bit.
like it's fine to make that argument and rationalize it, but it's something I was reading in like the Making of Star Wars book. They talked about how when they were shooting the Death Star trench, they kept trying to make it look realistic. They were like, we're shooting the speed of the walls going by at the actual speed it would go by. And George
Mhm.
Lucas kept being like, nope, it's too slow. It's too slow. Make it
Yeah.
faster. And they were like, this is physically impossible. And he's like, I don't care about physics. It needs to look faster.
This is my galaxy.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, the rules don't apply here. Make it as fast as you can.
But then when you get, streets full of people and characters and all that, you can't like speed things up
Yeah.
by making the whole video faster, because then it'll look like an episode of The Munsters when people would run away from the
Sure,
house in
sure.
fast motion. That's
Just like
another Gen X and above reference. You're welcome.
Circus music just starts playing while he's like zipping
Yeah.
through the city.
People really
Um,
quickly looking like they're in old silent films. Yeah. Okay, where are we?
Well, we covered the Mos Vespas and we covered the chase. Let's jump
The
back
Mos
and talk about
Vespas.
the Tuscan Raiders.
Yeah.
So we only got one flashback this time. It was only like 5 minutes long.
Yeah, and they were all dead.
Yeah,
Man.
which is a bummer.
It really was. But also, I think really deepened, the Boba Fett character. Again, it just like added so much weight to like, oh man.
Mhm.
Now I don't have these guys. Like, ugh, what the
Yeah.
hell? I'd be interested to know how much time in between that and when he went and saved Fennec Shan. Like
Right.
how much running around did he do? Is he going to
I
be in
have a
that
feeling-
Obi-Wan show? I'm going to wipe my nose. I can do this
Hopefully
off
we
camera.
see that like in the next episode, maybe him finding Fennec or something like that. But yeah, I feel like it was really sad to see all the Tuscans just straight up dead and that it happened so quickly. But
And
that
off screen.
and off screen, but I felt like that was just necessary for the story to move forward. Like he had to have some kind of catalyst to make him leave and like go back to wanting to
Yeah.
have the armor and be Boba
Yeah,
Fett
now
again.
you join society again. Yeah, this time these lessons are over for you, sir.
Yeah.
Your teachers have been wiped out
It's
by
something that-
colonialism.
I absolutely was expecting it to happen. So I guess, when it happened, I was like, yep, there it is. I wasn't all that upset
Yeah,
because
yeah.
it felt like that was the next logical thing. I do
Of
wish that
course.
they had, surprised us instead and found a different reason for him to leave the Tuscans, but this just seemed like the obvious choice.
Yeah, like if they had just moved on, like he returned and then they were just
Hmm.
gone and left him a couple of things.
Man,
right?
that would have
What
been
if
messed
they
up.
just upped and split? And he's
Mhm.
like, "Oh shit,
We can finally get rid of this guy, this bald
Let's-
man that keeps.
hey, he's gone. Let's get the fuck. Oh, sorry. Let's get the f out of here."
That would have been even more heartbreaking, I think.
Roar, 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 roar. Except they would have said it like that. Roar, 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 roar.
Yeah,
That's a
I've
great
seen a lot of
impression.
people. Yeah, I've seen a lot of people bummed about the Tuscan stuff, and I'm like, yeah, I kind of figured it was going to happen. I'm glad. I guess they pulled the
In
Band-Aid
what
off.
way? That like they're done now? We're done with them?
I think so. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, I can
Just-
see that. I mean, they're great.
Yeah.
But they, who knows? He's got a whole head full of flashbacks, doesn't he? I don't know.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
wanna
they're still
see-
on Tatooine. There are other Tuscans out there.
Yeah. Like I hope that we get to see some kind of justice for the Tuscans.
Yeah, and he also said at one point that it's not just one clan, that it's a part of a bigger, right?
Yeah.
He sort of
There's
broke
lots
that
of
down
tribes
for us. So yeah, there's no reason that, I mean, just because that one specific one with the kid and the cool guy and then the warrior lady, I could never tell what was going on with that warrior character.
Yeah.
I'm gonna while we're talking about this, I already know some people have asked about it, so I'll just bring up Richard Winter. Thank you so much for the super chat, and I see that also Guiguio had a similar question about the female warrior. She didn't show up among the dead. People are saying. I'm seeing a lot of people say that. Guiguio said the body of the Tuscan female warrior was not shown on screen in the devastated camp. She's got to come back and play a part in the finale, right?
Great.
Maybe.
Well, I think that she is probably gone. The same way they didn't show the child's body, but he burnt the gaffy stick. He did burn the warrior's gaffy stick.
Was it her gaffy stick? Because when I watched it, it looked. Because didn't the chief have two?
Did he? I think the first one he put on there, I believe, was the warrior's, because it just had like just a little spear tip. Then the Chiefs had like a bunch of stuff on it. And then, of course, the child's. I think we are to believe that
They're
all of the Tuscans are wiped out.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah. But if
everyone's
if
saying
she did
no,
survive,
that was the Chiefs, but I'm like, I'm gonna find this image real quick.
If she did survive,
I mean, it'll happen.
I'm excited to see her come back if she did.
Back in my day, we would have to just keep wondering. We would have this debate until there was either a rerun, or maybe that wasn't going to happen for months and months and months. So we'd just have to go. I don't know. I don't know if she's gone or not.
No Twitter to argue about it.
I don't know if it was her stick.
Just have to sit
I
there
don't
by
know.
yourself. I think that this one that he's holding right here, about to put on the fire, I think that's the Warriors. It looks like the one that she was using against him in the last episode.
It does.
Maybe I'm just trying not to get my hopes up, and then we can all be surprised and happy when it happens in the finale. I would love to be wrong.
Maybe she'll come in riding on a Rancor.
She'd be like, I got one too.
Yeah. You're not special, Boba Fett.
Oh my god, let's talk about the Hutt twins though, since we still we've blasted sort of past there with my Danny Trejo. Or are we there yet in the episode?
We're kind of there. Like we can next up is Black Chrysanthem's attack.
Oh yeah, great.
That ties right into
great. Oh yeah, let's go with Black Chrysanthemum first.
Oh man, we already talked about kind of the surprise of the back to tank opens up and all the liquid fell out, and I was like, why are they doing this? Who did this? And then it cuts just to his angry face, and I was like, oh my god, like that. That got a big gasp out of us.
Yeah. Same. I love that Star Wars can still make me gasp in moments. It's really great. Man, I love that character so much, and I'm a little bummed that they weren't adversarial longer, that he didn't remain like sort of lower level boss character until maybe later on he made it a choice to stick with Boba, but again, you can't trust those Hutts. So
on one hand, I agree with you. I would not have minded a full-on brawl between Black Chrysanthemum and like fully armored Boba Fett, but I also really, really love the idea that he had no power, no armor, no nothing, and just he went for the Mandalorian gadgets. That failed him, and then he picked up
went back
the
to
gaffy stick.
I mean, again, like saying so much about his character, right? Like he has adopted this new way of doing things, which is awesome. I just want Black Chrysanthemum to be around a lot more.
Me too.
Agreed. I loved getting to see, because we've never seen a Wookiee fight like that
Yeah,
so
just
intensely.
brawl.
Just like super angry, like he was like trying to break his back by just squeezing him.
So great.
Maybe it was just a hug. Maybe all of that was just a miscommunication. He was coming
like,
in to be
I
like,
missed you.
yeah, it was
People think I'm
a
a
hug to the
villain, but
neck.
I'm not.
Yeah, like Boba Fett, it's good to see you again.
I don't understand how strong I am.
He's like George in Of Mice and Men.
Yeah, totally. He keeps taking all my little bunny creatures and wiping his forehead with them. He doesn't love me, that hut.
Yeah, I loved that fight because I was telling Molly, I think the closest thing we've got to that is Chewie freeing the other Wookiee slaves in Solo, and that's over really fast. Seeing a Wookiee just going ham, throwing Boba Fett around.
Yeah, I mean, really,
so
it was, or Chewie just sort of like fighting Han, right, in Solo. When he's dropped into the pit, he throws him around a little bit. And so, yeah, you don't really, just to see the true badassness of a Wookiee, and then with his electro cyber knuckles. So great.
And I like that he didn't get beaten. I like that they maneuvered him into being trapped.
Basically. Yeah, the gang of youngsters come in, and like I was like, oh no, are they gonna like take him out just because sheer numbers? But they just kind of corralled him.
Yeah, you gotta trap him.
And Finnick came along and like flushed him.
And because I saw
flush and
this
flush.
and it's relevant.
Yeah.
Flush him out and then flush him down the old Rancor tubes.
Jon Snow Rules, thanks for the super chat, asks if Black Chrysanthemum has a history with Boba Fett. Does Fett remember him? I think he'd be hard to forget. But yes, Boba Fett and Chrysanthemum have done some stuff together in the past. It definitely seems like they're
not really honoring the comic book of, we didn't really have those adventures in this universe.
I think that they are enough. They're just not, they're not contradicting them. That's what I would say. They're not super acknowledging it, but they're not saying that never happened.
I would say it's tough coming from the point of view that that the two characters, if you were totally blind to it, I wonder if it would come across as though they look like they maybe know each other, the way they sort of look at one another. You know what I mean? Like, we know that they do in one thing. And
in that sense, if I hadn't read the comics, I don't think I would get that impression. Yeah, that they know each other, but especially because he was like from a former bounty hunter. You shouldn't work with the Hutts, basically.
Oh yeah, right.
He knows who you are. He knows you were a bounty hunter. Yeah. So there was like a sense of them not being familiar with each other, but I could also see, like, in my head canon, I'll just write that off as sarcasm. Like, take it from a former bounty hunter. It's like, yeah, I know who you are, Boba Fett.
There ain't no game in there. You're gonna end up on a slab.
I'm convinced that, because I was like, well, where's Finnick? How did he get into this room and like get to Boba Fett? Where's Finnick? I'm convinced she was on the toilet taking a dump or something. Like, she had to have been tied up elsewhere.
The only show that has tackled such a thing is The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
So where do these characters poop?
The refresher.
He's got a little vac tube in there.
There's only one refresher on Tatooine, and she had to run to it. I do wonder, though. Okay,
as soon as
do they have sand bidets on Tatooine? This is just a blast of sand.
Coarse and rough, it got everywhere.
I'm clean and calloused.
Because it's gonna get in there anyways. You might as well.
Might as well.
Does this shake your trust in Finnick Shand at all?
No, Finnick Shand, I feel like I still don't know really who that character is. I feel like Finnick Shand so far is just that whatever scene she's in, she is whatever they need her to be.
Yeah, she's like a sounding board for Boba Fett.
Yeah,
and that's
sidekick. And I wish they spent more time with her, because I think she's badass.
Yeah.
but I just feel like we ought to get to figure out who she is. Why should we care about her?
Yeah,
We
I hope
should
they
care
get into
about her.
that when we catch up to her in the flashbacks to Boba Fett finding her.
Oh
them
yeah,
forming
you
their
think that's where we're
relationship.
going in the BAFTA next? Is their little adventures? Every time he gets in the tank, he's gonna start. I like that he dreams sequentially though.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Tonight I'm
very
gonna dream
helpful.
about
yeah,
this.
I'm gonna help you guys along here.
Yeah.
Maybe that's we don't know. We don't know. Is this universe or does this galaxy have a name? You guys know what is there a name of
Oh, no,
the
people-
galaxy?
As far as I know,
Far,
people just
far
call it the
away?
galaxy far, far away. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think it has a name.
that they hadn't named it. Don't you think?
Maybe someone's named it.
Galaxies all have a name. It's got to be somebody real though, not just somebody.
Hold on, let me call George.
Yeah.
Hit him on the horn,
George, we have questions.
the George horn. You guys don't have one of those? Come on, you're Star Wars Explained.
I know we
I
should.
wish we
Nobody,
did.
if you can't explain it, who can?
I'm hopeful that we get to Fennec Shand and it's like an episode just kind of devoted to her.
Yeah,
And
she needs
like a
it. That character
parallel
really
story.
needs it.
Yeah.
Even if it's just following her around and then seeing what she does when, if she wasn't taking a dump, maybe she was in her, maybe she's got a weird little chapel and she does some kind of ritual thing that we don't know about. And now suddenly she's interesting,
Yeah.
Give her something, some meat.
She's got her own back to tank that she was jealous of Boba Fett's. She was in that.
This just jogged my memory of something that stood out to me this episode especially, and so thanks Star Wars Music Minute for bringing this up. But the word Finn came up twice, and really what that reminded me of is that sometimes the dialogue is very dramatic for whatever's being talked about. Did that jump out to either of you?
When
Or
did
is that
they
just
say?
me?
When did they say Finn?
Boba Fett first said like maybe we can figure out what's going on in this murky Finn, like talking about just the situation that they're in with all the assassination attempts, and then later it was Danny Trejo saying that the witches of Dathomir rode the Rancors through the Finns and forests.
Is it an old timey word? I'm assuming.
I guess. Well, I'm not specifically talking about the word Finn, but there were just so many phrases that they used where I was like, "Who talks like this? This is dramatic." Boba Fett.
I mean, I think they're pulling from like the fact that we're calling him a daimyo is like, like, whoa, what? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, it's a well-known word and very specific, and also very, an old word, and so it's just like I think they're just sort of pulling weird. I wouldn't be surprised if they start throwing some kith and kin in there.
Mhm.
Start speaking of people's kith.
Well,
Yeah.
usually I feel like they sprinkle it through an episode where like someone will say something dramatic, or like the armorer said really dramatic things in The Mandalorian, where I was like, yeah, you're like the cult leader, so sure.
Do you think
but-
maybe there was a bet? Do you think they had a bet? Like, okay, you got to use this twice
Let's see if anyone
with the writer
notices.
in the writer gang, whoever
Yeah.
writes these shows. Who wrote this episode? Do you know?
This one was Jon Favreau.
Oh, it's Favreau.
Yeah, I
Oh
think most
man,
of them are
there you
Favreau.
go, Favreau. Yeah, I mean that makes sense of him pulling
Yeah.
out some weird old timey stuff. Like, you get bored after a minute if you're just speaking normally. So you're like, oh, I'm gonna zazz this up with a little
He-
Finn.
He
I'm
could
just
be just
noticing it a
trying
lot
to.
more.
He could be just trying to like put his own little spin on Star Wars and like start something new. So
I mean,
we
they
can
are
say,
melodramas,
Favreau,
maybe he
stop trying to
does.
make Finn work.
I don't think you even need a word of the day calendar. You just go to use like the dictionary app, and there is a word of the day there, and it's usually something. It might very well be on the day he wrote this episode that might have been the word on one of those things, and he was just like, "Hey, I'm going to throw that in there a couple of times." You don't hear that.
No one uses the word Finn anymore.
Yeah.
They got the
Although I'm
thesaurus
sure
out.
people were like at the table read, the fan, what, actors, we don't know anything. We're dumb.
Read
We
the
study
lines.
acting. We study pretending while everybody else is studying words like fen.
Well, let's get to Lucky, your big favorite moment. You wanted to talk about the Huts and the introduction.
Oh my god, I
Danny
love
Trejo.
those twins. I love those twins so much. Oh, they're so weird. The fact that they're just always all over each other, like
Mhm.
they're
They're like
constantly
intertwined.
laying on one another, while those poor saps have to hold them.
Mhm.
Oh man, they're so great. It's exactly what the Huts should be. Of just like, oh, you guys are such dicks.
Yeah.
It's great.
The second time I watched the episode, I was like trying to look at the faces of the people carrying them, and their faces are hilarious because they're just like,
Yeah, they look like they're exhausted and exasperated and don't want to be doing the thing and like hate every second. It's great.
mhm.
I love them, and I love that they rolled up with Danny Trejo and a Rancor,
Mhm.
but Danny Trejo, really.
Yeah.
The Rancor stuff was probably my favorite parts of the episode.
Mhm.
It was one of those where I was excited to see it, and then I had a moment of, oh, this has the potential of just being so corny and hokey and stuff. But then they bonded, and I was like, I'm already in love. It's Grogu in the opposite direction.
Oh my god, you're right.
Yup.
Mhm. Going
It
big.
really is.
Yeah, we're just getting monster.
And it's a
Lovable.
calf. They said it was a calf, so
Yeah,
it
it's a
is a
kid.
baby
It's a little baby
Rancor.
kid.
Oh
He's
my
gonna
God.
train him to be his dude.
And I
mean,
pointed
all of
out,
Star Wars is just retelling stories.
yeah, I pointed out that so far Boba is a better dad than Din because he took his helmet off to connect with the Rancor at least.
Well, he
Took-
wasn't raised in a cult where he
Yeah.
was told he wasn't allowed to do that ever,
Yeah, true.
or something bad would happen.
And I mean,
What happens to them if they do it?
Nothing. Apparently, they're kicked out. But
Oh,
I
they
mean,
kicked out the club. They kicked out of the
of
helmet
cult,
club,
I guess.
the helmet all the time club. Oh well. But now I can breathe. Boba,
So what
I
is-
see
what
this
does everyone
kid,
think?
PT White, yapping over here.
100%.
Of course,
Is he riding that Rancor?
Of course, he's going to
Oh.
ride that Rancor. You don't.
Yeah.
That's a Chekhov's gun for the
Uh-huh.
season right there. Because we all went, you can ride a Rancor. Dopes like me, you guys probably know you can ride Rancors. I don't know you can ride those things.
I don't
Which
know how.
only backs up my theory that bringing back like T-Rexes, if we can make clones of those a la Jurassic Park and bring them back, we will be riding them in no time. That's what the type of thing we want to do. So, people, when you say, I'm all in favor, bring back the T-Rexes, and then they go, you're crazy. No, because they'll make them a little smaller and we're going to ride them.
Say goodbye to cars.
Why?
Velociraptors.
Yeah. Hi, cars. I got my T-Rex parked out front.
What do they say in Jurassic Park? Not if you could, if you should, or
Mhm.
something like that.
Yeah.
Should we though? Should we bring back dinosaurs?
Sure. I mean,
I've seen
know,
Jurassic
it's-
Park, and I say yes.
It's
Start with the herbivores.
let's do all
We'll
the
go from
things
there.
until the rock hits us one day. Just let's
Yeah.
go.
So the rock hits
Nothing
us.
lasts forever, guys. I hate to bum everybody's high right now, but mass extinctions happen frequently on this planet. Anyway, Star Wars.
Since we were talking about it though, Matt
No, I'm
McDonald.
not getting the phone. I'm kidding.
Matt McDonald sent in a super chat and said, hello, really loved seeing a Rancor this week. Do you think we'll see Boba riding it High Republic comic style later on? I really hope so. Does that happen in the
Yeah.
High Republic?
Oh,
Yeah,
that's all
so
that's all the new world, right?
Mhm.
Isn't that all
So
the
when the Jedi make a brief alliance with the Hutts give them some Rancors to ride.
I love that the Rancors are just like sort of some hut thing. Like the Hutts are
Yeah.
somehow like, yeah, we keep these guys.
It is
Are they
interesting.
all
that
from the same
y-
planet?
No, they're from Dathomir, Darth Maul's planet. So
No.
they have to be taken off of Dathomir. It's just that everyone thinks of Hutts and Rancors together because of Return of the Jedi. But yeah, the witches were the first ones to ride them.
I do love those witches.
Yeah.
Any witch. Witches are my favorite. So as soon as there are witches in a thing, I'm in. And Star Wars witches? Are you kidding me? Yes, that was probably my favorite part of the Clone Wars cartoon,
Man, I'd
which
love
I
to
loved.
see, some Night Sisters in live action at some point. That'd be sick.
Mhm. That would be amazing.
Yes.
Well, we already talked about the chase scenes, so let's just dive into the final kind of reveal of the Pike Syndicate. I guess they are, at least for now, being set up as, I don't know if I even want to say the big bad, because they keep kind of introducing
They're
things and
totally
then knocking
not.
them
They're
off.
not. They can't at all. There was no weight given to that.
So they're the next
sort of
bad.
conference. Yeah, this
They're
is the
next in
next
line.
step to really who's at the top. Now, we still have to deal with what's the hangout where Jennifer Beals works?
The Sanctuary.
The polish your
Yeah.
helmet place.
Yeah.
Really just, low bar but brilliant. That is a dad's garage flirting with the box. Might I polish your helmet, sir?
Someone give
my
this
God.
Scumbox to,
Yes, here is
to
my
Garsa Whip.
literal helmet that I wear in this show.
I did say a couple of times that I think maybe Garsa Whip has some power behind the scenes, and I hope we see more of her.
Oh, is that her name?
Mhm.
Garsa
Gar-
Flip?
Garsa
it's a-
Whip.
Whip?
A
Like,
weird name. That name
Like the
made me
name,
laugh.
like
the
the
first time I
word,
heard
like
it.
the word they used to use when Spider-Man would shoot a web. That was one of the web
Yeah.
words. Whip. Back in the 1970s. I don't know that they still use whip and thwip. They used both. Oh yeah, of course she is. She's got, if not all the power, she might be the bad guy that's right in front. It might be Agatha all along, all
Yeah.
over again. You know what I mean? Like, she's right there. She's the big boss bitch.
And
Mhm.
she's acting
or
awfully
she is the
friendly.
next level down. She is, I know
Yeah.
there are these Kira rumors.
Yeah, I don't buy that at all.
Yeah, it's just,
I would
sure-
love to
I'm
be
sure
wrong, but
there are.
she's in the comics way too much.
Oh, is she?
Well, yeah, she's in a current run of comics, and it straight up says, like, this story is about the fall of Crimson Dawn. This story is a tragedy,
Oh,
and it's about Kira. So,
Yeah.
and they take place
Th-
before
so
Return of
what's
the Jedi.
the point? Yeah, why?
Yeah.
Then why drag her into this? Right. There's no point to it. What is the thing that they spray paint? What is the roving hoodlum gang
Oh,
of?
the
murderous-
Nikto gang.
The
I forget
Kitan
what they were.
Striders.
Yeah.
I hate that it made it all the way to now that we're still using the code word from The Day the Earth Stood Still. That's what Barada, Nikto, and
yeah.
Klaatu.
Mhm.
That's Day the Earth Stood Still. It's in Army of Darkness.
Garbage, yeah, that's what that was the first time I heard it, I think.
Yeah, it goes back to The Day the Earth Stood Still. But
Hilarious.
it's like, oh my God, I can never take it really seriously when we, when we hear it, like, oh God, come on. It's
Yeah.
so George Lucas. It's so
Mhm.
George Lucas. Anyway, is that what
Well,
those guys are?
that's-
The Niktos?
Yeah.
Niktos, yeah.
I mean, we've reached the end of the episode, so is
We
there
see a
anything
bunch
else?
of pikes get off
Yeah.
a ship, and Fennec is like, they're gonna go to war, and Boba's
Oh,
like,
yeah, well,
"Then we'll
like,
be ready."
I think one of the drawbacks of sort of this show being a double-edged sword, where you got to really explain where he's been and talk about what he's doing now, is that this war, I'm just like, that feels like it carries no weight with me. What war? Like, I don't care what like, is it that heavy now? What? Like, there's just so much. Like, you get a Rancor, you get a this, and now there's a war. I feel like things aren't that tense.
Mhm.
I guess
mean,
it's just
maybe-
not as dramatic to be like, they're coming to skirmish. Like, they're gonna fight us. Like, I think that's probably all it means.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A criminal syndicate war.
Yeah, I can't wait to see where this. I really do love that. I have absolutely no. This is one of the reasons I loved Mandalorian so much. It's just I have no clue where this is all headed. As many tropey, obvious, corny things as were in like today's episode, still just like I'm always surprised. Never knew what was coming next. They mentioned the cybernetic mod squad, and I was like, what? Like just all of it. I'm just like, oh, this is great. I don't know what's coming next, so I'm excited to see where it goes.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, is there anything you guys want to talk about before we jump into questions?
Oh man, are we ever gonna see the mayor again? I really loved
I think so.
that character.
Oh, he looks so good.
He's
Yeah.
so
I'm
good.
obsessed with how good he looks.
Yeah, really great. Robert Rodriguez doing his voice. It's got that nice, gentle voice to it. Really awesome. Yeah, we're really getting his goofy major domo. Boy, Tatooine and their goofball major domos, huh?
Yeah.
And they got to realize what are those guys called? That race with the tentacle heads?
The Twi'leks.
Twi'leks.
Old tentacle heads.
You know what? I've known the word Twi'lek since 1983, and I'm sometimes just forgetful for comedic purposes. Yeah, the males of that species, I guess the ones that go into crime at least, are real goofballs. It seems. Bib Fortuna was a goofball. I'm surprised he ran Jabba's operation for 5 years.
I wonder
but I'm
if,
sure he was just, that guy was a born patsy. So I'm sure whoever was just ruling him. I think we're about to find out, right? Who's really was holding his leash
from the start of the episode, that they were like separating up power, that there were 3 other families and they were just kind of like, okay, Bib, you can do your thing, I guess.
I gotta think that it wasn't really Bib though, right?
No. Like I think he was kind of just, they let him,
hey Bib, do this.
Be there. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's keeping the seat
you can
warm.
sit in the chair.
Yeah,
you can have the special chair.
Yeah. You can pretend your whole thing. Sure, live in that outpost. We don't care about that old monastery.
He definitely took advantage of all the food.
Yeah.
Yeah. Put on a couple pounds.
Which
he did. He really ballooned up.
And they showed that Boba Fett kind of sending the food away and being kind of grossed out by all the excess.
Oh, sorry. I just cursed again. That's 2 quarters in the swear jar for me. Probably about 7 or 8 quarters in the swear jar.
Yeah, we're keeping a tally. We'll settle up at the end.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's all that I had on my notes. So if you want to go into questions.
Yeah, let's jump into some questions. And
let's go to question time.
Doomslayer 420, thank you for the super chat. So when Boba said he rode beasts 10 times the Rancor's size, was he referring to the holiday special?
I have to think. That's the first thing I thought of. I immediately thought of that cartoon.
Mythosaurs, but those are extinct, so it has to be that. I don't know what else it could be.
Yeah.
I also like that. Was it Danny Trejo's? Did he have a staff or something with the 2-pronged electro tip?
Yeah, he did.
He had something that looked like the head of the Mandalorian rifle, right? The electric part. And I was like, oh, maybe that's like the electric bayonet of a Mandalorian rifle. I don't know.
Well, yeah, in the holiday special, it shoots that little like zappy beam out. But then they took it and put it in Mandalorian and it became a disintegrator. So they're like, okay,
but it has that electro tip, right? In the very first episode, he knocked
you're right.
Ice beast off of his ship with it.
You're right. I forgot about that.
Yeah, so and I assumed like it was the same fork. I'm almost positive that it was Dan. I can't wait to learn that character's name because I don't want to keep saying Danny Trejo, but also I'm probably always going to call that character.
Will it rhyme with Malik Healy?
I don't know if he has a name in the credits yet, but hopefully he gets one.
Yeah, did it just say Rancor Keeper? What did it say? I didn't even look.
Probably.
I'm always looking at the art. They always show such great art. The production art.
Yeah.
Is
Concept
top
art.
notch.
Yeah. Cool. Let's see. Next up, we've got Joel Davis. Thanks for your super chat. As much as I love Book of Boba Fett, am I the only one a bit more hyped to see Star Wars TV outside the Favreau/Filoni creative influence? See what Tony Gilroy and Leslie Headland bring to the table. Yeah, I'm excited for Leslie Headland. She's doing The Acolyte, right?
Mhm.
Um,
And Gilroy's doing Andor.
oh, I didn't know that. I probably did know that, but I forgot. Yeah, I'm excited to see their takes on stuff too, for sure.
I'm so psyched. I mean, I'm really enjoying the Favreau Filoni stuff and everything that they're building towards. But I'm all for more variety because I don't want Star
variety.
Wars TV. Yeah,
All the way.
you don't want
man.
Star Wars TV to be all the same thing all the time.
Yeah.
And Boba Fett is very similar to the Mandalorian in like tone and structure. So I'm excited to see what Andor brings and the
it's a good time to sort of take a break from the Mando show just because things were getting all weird with contracts and people getting booted off of social medias and all the things, and it was getting pretty weird. And so in came this delightful season, and I'm assuming we're gonna go back. I don't know, maybe are we ever gonna go back to Din Djarin, do you think?
Oh yeah.
Where do we go?
They're shooting season 3 right now.
Oh yeah, great.
They're
Then great. It's gonna be great. I love this break,
I
and I
think it's supposed to come
I
out
hope
this
they
year.
end. I mean, I hope they just go like, and then that was the Book of Boba Fett, and then bye Boba Fett. I would love to get away from seeing characters that I know from when I was a child, and I was a child a lot longer ago than you darling little adorable children. And so it's just like, okay, that's one of the reasons I was really pumped about what was going on with The Last Jedi, because I was like, thank God, let's just start something new. Come on, let's stop treading all this old ground. And I thought that's what he was kind of going for. And everybody lost their minds.
But I'm excited for the Acolyte, because the Acolyte is not connected to anything or anyone. It's going to be all new stuff as far as we know.
The what's her name's? That's Anakin's Padawan.
Ahsoka.
Ahsoka. That's not the Ahsoka show.
No, the Ahsoka show is called Ahsoka.
Oh,
and then there's another show
what's
called
the Acolyte. I don't even know what that is. What's that one?
We don't know.
An acolyte of what?
I don't know.
Oh man! Now I'm really excited.
Yeah, I just
all about that one. I've been ramming the Acolyte and Ahsoka into one show,
and that's I'm glad that we're getting more
word that starts with A.
I'm glad we're getting more stuff that's we have the Favreau Filoniverse, which is a little more connected to what is very familiar, and then Andor I think is going to be a little more separated. I mean, obviously Andor and K2SO and the Rebellion will be in it, but then we're also going to get stuff like the Acolyte, which is going to be a lot more experimental. And I'm glad that we have that whole we were running the gamut on familiarity. Something for everyone.
Yeah, give us characters that are new, that no one already has their preconceived ideas.
We know what the universe is.
Yeah.
We get it, Yeah, give us, there's a whole gigantic galaxy full of stories.
It's infinite ideas.
Man, if there was a whole show on Nal Hutta, come on. Just give me a one Hutt family at home.
At home. They could do Big Mama's house because of Mama the Hutt.
Yeah, there you go. What is that? Zero still alive? He was a real charmer.
He was killed in the Clone Wars.
Yeah,
but if they can bring Darth Maul back, they can bring anyone back.
No, don't bring back Zero.
All right,
nobody wants Zero to come back.
Let's move on to the bread that causes Les Mis. Thanks for the super chat. Says, with the British accents, bikes, and outfits, the Swoop Gang seems to play on mod subculture. Also a pun, considering they're modded cyborgs. That's you're absolutely correct.
Yeah. Mods through and through.
Which I didn't know what that was until today. Molly saw it on Twitter and told me, so I could put it into the Easter egg video tomorrow.
As soon as I saw those rearview mirrors, I was like, "Oh, they're little mods," and they were in suit like things, and I was like, "Oh, all right, I'm in for this. I'm down."
Yeah,
we got samurais. We might as well have some mods in there.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think that's right on the money for what those were supposed to be.
I think
modeled
if
after.
anything, they could have just beat up their bikes a little more. They were all a little shiny, but I get it. I get what you're going for.
I do like
Mr.
people have pointed
Rodriguez.
out people have pointed out that they like robbed the water merchant because he was charging too much, but it seemed like they were supposed to be down on their luck. But yeah, they have these really nice bikes and these modifications, and they were dressed pretty rich too.
Yeah. Again, like it's one of those you have to be my age or older to really appreciate, like, oh yeah, it makes sense. You know what I mean? Because like, oh yeah, they're mods. They put literally every time they have to, like, they ate cigarettes, I think, the mods. They couldn't do both. They couldn't smoke and eat, so they smoked. And it was just sort of like, I got it. And I've been like, yeah, of course, the rest of the world, you know, anyone born after 1967, you're gonna go, huh?
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, the mods ate death sticks.
Oh no, Ken Bloom's here, you guys.
Hell yeah, he is.
Good old Ken.
I can.
He told me I was supposed to name drop him. Ken Bloom.
Well, there you go.
Our good friend Ken Plume.
Good old Ken Bloom.
Gary24 fan, thanks for the super chat. Are protocol droids just programmed to stumble into trouble, then create a fuss about it? Oh yeah, I forgot to mention. So during the little car chase at the end,
Yeah.
it was like a who's who of every droid we've ever seen. We had mouse droids, protocol droid, R2 astromech droid, pit droid, the carrier droid that carries the like people on the wagon
You know who
or
else we
whatever.
saw? We
Droid.
saw Amy Sedaris and her droids at one point in this episode.
Pelly. Yeah, we saw Pelly. That was
Pelly. That's that character's name.
yeah,
She's
it just
like
felt
Danny
like a
Trejo, where I can't not call her Amy Sedaris.
yeah. So it was just like a look at this droid, and then this one, you know, this one. Over
Yeah,
here.
you got toys to sell, Molly. Don't you know how
That's
it
true.
works? Come on, man. All those swoop bikes, all those Vespas. Come on. Those are all
Well,
toys. As soon as I
everyone's-
saw it, I'm like, there's all the figures.
All the collectors out there are mad because you can't find Book of Boba Fett toys yet. Like they're not even out yet.
Well, I mean,
But
yeah.
hopefully they will
You
be.
remember the
That
not
that
too
just
long
seems to
ago, the
be-
Grogu frenzy, where
Yeah,
were
they
just
focused
like,
everything on
they missed an
Grogu.
entire Christmas. They really kind of blew it with the Grogu toys.
They've been kind of blowing it just all across the board. Like there's no Cobb Vanth action figure coming out until like this June or something. It's crazy.
Well, you know, it's probably because George used to own all that kind of stuff, and so he was probably better about pushing it all along. Did he sell that off with the rest of it?
I have
don't
no
know.
idea.
It could
Because
just
now
be
it's just,
like,
you know, so far away from the actual marketplace of, you know, action figures and those who buy them. That, you know, it's just numbers. They're just like, they'll buy it. Who cares? You know, put it out whenever. We don't care.
it could just
Yeah,
be like COVID stuff too, just slowing everything down and making it harder to produce.
Yeah, I'm just so I don't know anything about the collecting world really, especially when it comes to production. But I'm just like, how is it this hard to find anything Cobb Vanth?
I don't know. They did announce that figure a long time ago, but again, yeah, these are strange times, my friend. A more
Dragon is
civilized time, you could get your action figure as soon as the episode was released.
It's true.
I went
Should
to
get
the they did I think it might have been the very first one of this genre of thing, but the midnight toy release for the Phantom Menace, like the first prequel, where they were just like, there's going to be new Star Wars times for the toys for the first time, and what? And so it was your chance to see characters and stuff like that. So me and my buddy went to that midnight just to be a part of the frenzy. It was hilarious because, of course, we were old guys in, you know, the middle of all of this madness. It was awesome.
Dragonus Prime, thanks for your question. It's you, dude. Right. So we all agree that Boba's litter is going to be the Rancor. Yeah, I think so. I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Instead of having a litter, he's
gonna. I mean, he's already rolling without one. Yeah, now he's just gonna be riding a Everybody wants this. Yeah, if they don't have him on the back of a Rancor by the end of this season, how many episodes are in this season?
7.
Okay,
So we got
I
4
got
more.
4 episodes
happen.
to get him. Oh, of course, half of this from now on is going to be him bonding with that monster.
I do hope they
Please,
make.
yes.
I do hope they make a joke about the litter.
Just
Like
this all the time.
he can be like, "Here's my litter," right before he eats the major domo or the mayor or something.
That's a good job, Bubba. You're really bonding. um, speaking of riding beasts, how useless is a bantha really? I mean, like, is it really worth climbing up there? They're so slow. That scene of him just going back home. No wonder he missed the battle. Riding a bantha.
Yeah, that was that whole 5-year gap that we've been missing.
He
was
just
him going to
riding
Mos
from
Eisley
one
and
place
coming
to
back.
another and stopping for meals.
When
It
he-
took 2.5
when he
years
saw-
one way.
I could have
When he
walked
saw
there in
the
about 2
smoke.
weeks, but I'm riding a bantha, so it's going to take me 5 years.
When he saw the smoke, I half expected him to be like, "Yeah, giddy up," but like, no, he just got off of it and ran.
Yeah,
He was like, "This
because
is gonna be
I'm not
faster."
going to try to take this thing. What are they using these days? I can't imagine they're throwing fur on an elephant anymore.
I think they
I
said
think
they
they're
made a puppet. They made one
puppets.
puppet, and the rest
Just
are
some
digital.
big thing that he climbed on top of. He's sitting on a sawhorse up there.
I figured they got to move slow because they don't eat a lot or drink a lot of water. That way they can survive in the desert. So they're just like,
Yeah, why do
don't
they
want to
have so much
spend too much
hair?
energy.
I'm so confused about the whole bantha as a creature on Tatooine.
Mm.
Dewbacks make perfect sense. I thought Rancors were from there, which also made sense because, the crate dragon, sure, of course, makes sense. All these subterranean weird things. I don't know where Jawas are originally from, but they even make sense there. I don't know what's going on with
But
that
then the
bantha.
hairy elephant.
Yeah, the
seems
giant lumbering.
antithetical.
I can't get anywhere quickly. And so, is it protective hair?
Maybe.
Maybe there's nothing under there but a soul. Maybe it's nothing but hair. It's living hair and tusk or horn.
They're just
is
like
just
they're
hair.
actually like skeletons. The horn part that's the rest of their body. It's just covered in hair.
They're made of
I don't
ice packs.
understand. I guess maybe they're also
Didn't know that.
delicious. Maybe they are. Maybe they're unbelievably cool creatures. Like, oh my god, I will freeze if I didn't have all of this. We have to live on Tatooine because our internal temperature is like -8.
Well,
Yeah, we'll say that.
the planet used to be an ocean
An
planet.
ocean.
So maybe
Right, I
they
guess
were
they're still kicking around. You would think the banthas would be the first to die. Big creature. I'm assuming herbivore? What's a bantha
Yeah.
eat? From where on Tatooine are they getting plants? It's time to
what? I don't know.
pull the curtain back on banthas and what they're doing on Tatooine.
They make no sense.
They make no sense. And it really, it's danced through my brain before, but never until today when I was watching them ride one slowly. And I was like, what the hell good are those things? None.
Yeah.
don't
I think they wanted to take an elephant and dress it up for the original one, and they were like, "Oh, I guess we got to keep going
exotic
with
creature. What's the most unexpected exotic creature that we can put a couple of guys on its back?
this." Yeah,
Elephant, sure, full of hair in the desert. You got it.
yeah, they're hairy camels, sort of.
Hairy camels, yeah,
But camels are very fast,
very fast.
from what I've heard.
Maybe they're
and
just
seen on the
giant
Mummy.
bags of water.
Yeah, everything I know about camels is from the Mummy.
Oh no, that's any Brendan Fraser movie is not a good source of true information.
How dare you?
How dare you, sir? Do you not know he was Dudley Do-Right and George of the Jungle?
Yeah, I loved George of the Jungle.
I love George of the Jungle.
If you had grown up in the 1960s and 70s and saw those original ones, you would be so bummed out.
Did you start a Not My George campaign?
This isn't my George of the Jungle. No, actually, it's George of the Jungle that I didn't mind him playing so much. Dudley Do-Right, he was 100% wrong for.
That's a new one. I've never heard anyone even mention the Dudley Do-Right movie.
Oh man, you know what? I tried to start watching the Boris and Natasha movie with Dave Thomas from SCTV. Oh man, I can't remember what actress is in it. A tall, very striking looking actress. I don't remember. She was on some sitcom. Yeah, really bad. Anyway, Star Wars.
Anyways, next up we've got a
Panthers.
super chat from Le Wolfie. Good thing this didn't happen when the clones were still around. Imagine the Rancor if you saw a bunch of guys with Boba's face. Yeah, if you'd
Aw.
seen clones, they would have been like, which one is Dad?
Yeah, who am I imprinted on? Oh, I'm
Maybe
sure
he'd
there
just
is
like all of them.
much more. I'm sure there is specific sense. Or a beast that huge has got senses going on that were, it's not just looking at him. I mean, that's clearly one of the things. It's like a duck. Although, has it never looked at Danny Trejo?
It had
That's
the
what I
blinders
was thinking. Like, Danny had to like jump out of the way.
Was
so
that
like,
their first meeting? Is the Hutts were like, throw that baby onto the cart and then get that guy?
I think so. Well, I mean, he said he saved it, like he was saving it to train for himself.
Oh my
but
God.
I guess it was the first human that it ever saw.
Ken Plume just texted me to remind me that Sally Kellerman, legendary actress Sally Kellerman, was Natasha in that Boris and Natasha movie. I apologize to the spirit of the late Sally Kellerman for mistaking her for a sitcom actress when she appeared in such films as Robert Altman's MASH.
I like
And
Ken just
Rodney
had to text you.
Dangerfield's
Could
Back
not
to
wait.
School. There you go. Sally Kellerman, kids. I'm a wealth of film information.
I have no idea who you're talking about.
I know you don't. That's okay. She's still alive. I apologize to the future ghost of the not late Sally Kellerman. Thank you, Ken
thanks,
Plume.
Ken.
You still don't know who she is. That's okay.
I'll look her up.
Legendary actress who apparently is still alive and I thought was dead. She's never been in Star Wars. How alive can she be?
Let's see. Blink, thank you for your super chat. Said I was hoping we'd get one episode without dead banthas. Maybe next week. Still loved the episode.
Oh,
No. Dead Banthas forever. That's my new campaign.
Why do
Kill
you
your
hate
kill all the
bantha.
banthas?
Destroy your bantha.
You're just scared of banthas now.
I'm not scared of them. I just
think
don't
you're scared of
see what's going on. They can't be happy. I guess reflood Tatooine. You could take the bantha to another planet more bantha appropriate, full of lush greenery and perhaps some colder climes where a giant body full of hair would be useful. I could literally keep talking about this for hours, you guys.
Take him to Felucia or something, like a jungle-y
Take him
planet.
to Felucia.
Hoth.
Banthas on Felucia is a great show title. Welcome to Banthas on Felucia. Like, that's what we need is a Star Wars sort of a nature.
That sounds like a podcast Obi-Wan would have. I don't know what about, but
He's got nothing else to do on Tatooine for all those years.
Right. Or Yoda on Dagobah. Now we're talking about regular old snakes. I like how there's sometimes regular old Earth creatures in the Star Wars universe,
snakes,
like rats
Yeah.
and
rats.
snakes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, those are everywhere. They get everywhere. Cockroaches, you can't stop them. Mosquitoes.
Let's see. Sleep of Giants, thanks for your super chat. Armored, sexy space boomers, punk rock mullet girl, high speed chase into Millerun. Oh, the Millerun fruit stand. Matt Berry? ? Good show. Nice to catch y'all live again. I like Star Wars, and I hope it likes me too.
Why does Matt Berry have a question mark after his name?
Oh, question mark and explanation point. I think they were surprised to see
Excited
that
that
he
it's
did
Matt Berry.
Yeah.
That
the
it's
voice.
obviously
That
Matt
seemed
Berry
like
playing that droid.
a John Ralphio rant from Parks and Rec, like armored sexy space boomers, punk rock mullet girl, high speed chase into mail run fruit stand. Matt Berry, mom.
Molly, did we ever get to your point about protocol droids? I feel like I maybe sidetracked us again.
Oh no, because my point was just that it was like a who's who of
Oh,
every
right. All the
droid.
Right. But we actually, I guess, never did talk about that one person's question is, what is the deal with protocol droids? Are they just bungling?
Yeah. Are they
They
made
do seem to cause a lot of their own problems.
Bungling bipedal machines of language?
Just, they said stumbling into trouble and then creating a fuss about it. Yeah.
Yeah. Why? You know what's funny? Where are those made? Where were they made? Let's just go with we'll go with the droids from all the prequels, the droid army that they were running with for a long time. Why would those bug people on what was that planet? Something with a G? Geonosis. Why would the Geonosins program those droids to be goofy? I like that those droids are goofy and add really corny comedy to things, like being real Three Stooges-y.
Maybe
But
they
that's
were
programming.
Maybe they were doing their best to replicate what they thought
That's what they
humans
thought
acted
people
like.
do. Yeah.
Yeah, they're
People
like,
are
this is what a
idiots.
human says,
Yeah,
right?
they're always snarking around.
Yeah. Well,
Maybe.
one of George Lucas's favorite stories in the Clone Wars is about droids and whether or not they have, or they're all programming, or if they have like
Are they
any kind of
conscious at all?
Yeah,
Like R2, it
sentience.
seems, and C3PO seem like they are 100% conscious beings. They are even aware that they're robots.
Yeah. So somewhere the pit, or not the pit droids, the droid army falls somewhere in between.
There's like personalities, individual personalities, and but also an idiot hive mind. Those guys.
Say, thanks for the next question. By talking to Han and so delaying the departure of the Falcon and preventing Luke arriving on Alderaan, was Jabba responsible for the destruction of the Empire?
Oh, hold on.
Hold on, yeah.
Real
Talking
We're
to
jumping to A
Han.
New Hope.
Flaps its wings situation here.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're saying that Jabba talking to Han delayed the Falcon leaving, but that's not true, because Luke and Obi-Wan were off selling the speeder.
Yeah.
They hadn't even shown up to the Falcon yet. It's
and
not
also,
like
that was not a scene in the original run of things. That was added back. I mean, they shot it, but with that Scottish man.
Yeah.
Spurs. But it was, it was never talked about. You only heard about him until the third movie when you saw him, and oh my god, he's a giant slug. What? That's crazy. That, like, as originally presented, that wasn't even a factor, that scene. So no.
And that scene sticks out even more so because a lot of the dialogue has already been said by Greedo.
The exact Greedo scene, 100%. It's all the stuff, just with a slightly bigger threat. Terrible. It's probably why it was cut in the first place. I don't know why they put it back in, except that everybody wanted to see Jabba.
Yeah.
Well, the scenes were originally completely different. Like, Greedo and Han talked about different stuff, and they talked in basic. So Greedo spoke English. And so they cut the Jabba scene, they reshot the Greedo scene and put it in Huttese so that they could just change it to have the same plot details, but they were able to get rid of the Jabba stuff.
That's another, like, let's just follow some Rhodians for a while. I like those guys. They're great. I love Greedo. Greedo was the only action figure I had from the original batch.
Nice. I like the lady that played Greedo that insisted on wearing heels.
Oh yeah,
that was an insistence. It's just that
to be as tall as Harrison Ford, right? Better than
standing
on a box.
I'll wear your costume, but I'm gonna wear my.
But I'm gonna look good.
Fly doing it.
Yeah, my shoes.
I'm gonna see just what these boys are made of on set.
Try doing my job in heels.
Yeah.
Miranda here. Thanks for the super chat. Rancor scene was best. I've never emphasized more with Vi's crying. Wait.
Sixes.
Oh, sixes. I see that and I think Vi. With sixes crying Rancor Keeper. Bad Batch gave us some empathy for Rancors too. But I loved the bike gang American Graffiti callback and fit right in with Solo's chase. Yeah.
Yeah, right on.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying the Rancor kind of renaissance that they've been doing with the Bad Batch, and now this.
And look, and somebody is a fan of the chase scene. See?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, so we've seen someone ride a Rancor in the Bad Batch already, because
It's true.
Omega
Oh, wait,
rides
God,
the
Omega,
Rancor.
Boba Fett's
God,
sister.
Who did?
Omega is kind of Boba Fett's sister.
Oh
like
yeah,
another
she rides
clone.
a Rancor in that. Why is she blonde? I thought they were clones of.
That's
she
a
should
whole
look
other
exactly
She's
TV
like
also
a,
she's
should just
also
look
a
like
girl, so
girl
the
Boba.
blonde hair doesn't really. Nala Se probably wanted her to be blonde, but God, now I want a scene between her and Boba Fett even more, just so he can be like, I wrote a Rancor, and she was like, oh, I did that 40 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Man, I don't know what. Yeah, I guess that's getting another season, right? We'll find
That
out
comes
what
out this
happens
year.
with Omega.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think an adult Omega is going to show up?
Not this season.
No, I mean just
Probably
ever.
not. Oh.
Maybe.
Do you think they'll live action that character?
I would love to see it, but I don't know if they would be so bold.
It wouldn't really surprise me.
Did you already tackle why they all have accents? They all have the same accent because that's not a genetic thing. You don't inherit an accent through genetics.
They were all
maybe
an accent.
taught to have
Maybe
that.
Jango Fett
and
gave
that
the
is
first
not at all
batch
how the
language lessons.
the pinhead people of what's the stormy water planet where they
Camino.
Camino. The pinhead people of Camino.
I'm gonna guess that Jango Fett gave like the first batch language lessons, and then they
And
gave language
personally,
lessons to everyone else.
In between bounty chases. All right, here we go.
He had to teach them all how to talk.
Yeah.
That was like another part of his contract that the Kaminoans didn't tell us about. Like, he wanted an unaltered clone, and he wanted all the clones to speak just like him.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, right.
That's
I'm in love
sitcom
with my
coming to
voice.
Disney Plus next year. Professor Jango.
Oh man, if it was like a Welcome Back Cotter type, this is another 1970s show. What would the
I've
head
seen
of the
that
class is too not good enough? I don't know what a modern day teacher show is. What was Hanging with Mr. Cooper a teacher show?
Yeah.
Boy Meets World was kind
Boy
of a
Meets World,
teacher-y
yeah.
show. Mr. Feeney.
Anyway, pick your decade's favorite teacher show, but set it on Camino with Jango Fett.
Captain Wrecked, thank you for the super chat. Bit of a sidebar. Lucky my U.S. Air Force squadron had an intel guy named Krieger. We still debate if your performance influenced his briefings. Great show, all.
Oh man, are his briefings super weird and inappropriate? Then yes. But yeah, rocking on in that Air Force. Thank you, buddy.
We got 2 more super chats from Miranda here. FYI, Krang Rancor Keeper scene always made me cry before, but now I'll be sobbing every time. And I know I'm not alone in laughing at the Keeper.
Yeah.
Wait, are you crying or laughing?
I mean,
You
she's
can do
laughing
both.
at him so hard she's crying. Yeah. That's what we said earlier, is that, it really adds so much weight to that scene from 1983.
It does.
It finally paid off. It's so great.
It's such a good character moment where, like, yeah, it is played for laughs, but you also immediately feel bad for the Rancor,
Yeah,
too.
sure.
Where it's like, that was someone's pet, basically.
Yeah. Wow, dude. Yeah. Way to go, Luke. Threw a skull. I guess he just threw a skull and he was saving his life, but still.
Yeah. And then they
We
also
started on Luke
said
Skywalker.
they also
They're
said
not laughing.
not laughing.
Not
Okay,
alone
yeah.
and not laughing.
Not laughing. Okay,
Oh,
sorry.
okay. Hmm.
They also said, do you think this show or The Mandalorian will show the fall of the Pike Syndicate? The Hutts and the Pikes have been replaced by the time of episode 7.
Where did the Pikes become important? What show or what?
The Clone Wars was the first time we met them, and then they were in Solo, but
They were
mostly
on
in the Clone Wars.
Kessel. Yeah.
Yeah, I just feel like, yeah,
I
don't
feel like
know.
they're not a big enough deal to the point where it would be a problem if
They
were
don't
wiped
feel
out
like a
in
threat.
this
I
show.
mean, it just seems like they really feel like a step, and if they should be more important than they are, I don't know why you would sort of hold back on that if they were going to be a big deal.
It's they're
'Cause
a bigger deal in the cartoons, but to the live action audience, the people who only watch the live action shows, they're basically new unless they
Yeah, I
recognize
mean,
them
like,
from Solo.
I don't remember
so.
that much about them, other than kind of seeing them in Solo, which I think I only saw once at the theater.
So yeah, I wouldn't
I don't
mind
really
if they
remember them.
got wiped out.
I mean, they have to be pretty rich if they're running the spice mines of Kessel, because spice is like everywhere in Star Wars. So
It's like, we know that, but I feel like they could get rid of the Pikes, or at least he could drive them off of Tatooine without a whole lot of consequence.
yeah. I mean, if Crimson
know.
Dawn can fall as it's happening in the comics, any crime syndicate can.
Mm-hmm.
How are the
Good
comics
Evan
these
Meter.
days? How are comics these days? Are they good?
It depends. Some of them are great, and some of them are just kind of there. Like the Star Wars Adventures line, I'm not really into that. The the Bounty Hunters comic is kind of boring, I think.
Really?
Yeah, I read it, I keep up with it, but I'm just kind of like, meh.
Yeah.
But the main Star Wars run is really good right now. The Crimson Reign stuff I'm really into, but that's a mini series.
How's all the High Republic stuff?
Oh, I love the High Republic.
Yeah,
it's good.
that's
I know
all.
nothing about it. I should start getting into that.
I mean, you were talking about wanting some different stuff. This is different. It's completely different.
Great.
New characters.
I mean, Yoda's in it, but barely, just because he's so old. He was around back then, but he barely is in the books.
Great.
So it's good stuff.
All right.
Evan Meter, thanks for your super chat. The main theme for this show is what happens when you say, "Yo, Ludwig, the Mandalorian theme slaps. I just wish it were easier to hum." And he responds with, "Say no more, fam."
This one literally
I
has
do
the word
catch
hum
myself,
in it.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, I was humming it this morning. Like,
it's just, it is just a variation of the Mandalorian theme, right? If it's not, it sounds almost the same.
It feels like it's in the same-ish family, except adding in all that chanting and stuff.
Oh yeah, I
like
guess
it feels a little less Western to me.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I wasn't sure about it when I first heard it, but then it's definitely grown on me a lot, and now I catch myself like bopping along.
It's exactly what happened with the Mandalorian theme. The first time I heard it, I was like, I don't know about this. But just because it's not John Williams. And then like 2 episodes later, I'm like, I am into this.
Yeah. It's great.
Caleb Kirby, thanks for the super chat. I bet the Pikes found spice on Tatooine. People keep saying the planet is worthless. Why else would the Pikes want it? Also explains the lizard dream.
Huh.
That would be it would be hilarious if all this time the Tuscans know about spice and like where it is, but they haven't been like
maybe that's why they're being wiped out.
I mean, I like the idea, but I'm also like, that's even more Dune stuff.
Yeah, you can't just start doing Dune at this point, especially after the film just came out.
Everyone already makes fun of Star Wars for taking so much from Dune, and it's like, now we're just gonna straight up do Dune.
Yeah.
It is interesting though. I do wonder why the Pikes are like, why do they care so much all of a sudden?
Money, I guess.
But
why?
I
Whatever
loved
that
that
bill
part
Tatooine pays for. What
in
part?
the last episode, when the Pikes were like, "What does spice look like, though?" It's like if you were like if a cop's asking you if you had drugs, like, "What do drugs look
What?
like?"
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't
Do
know.
I have drugs? I don't even know what they look like. What drugs? What are drugs?
That's hilarious. I love the subtle bits of humor that we're getting in this show.
Yeah, it's great. It is funny. I love it. And I think Tamara Morrison is just slaying it, man. I was thinking about it today, is that like he is way older than Boba Fett should be, by
Oh,
what,
yeah.
like 20 years at least.
He's been through a lot, and yeah, it is about
He's been
20
through a
years.
lot. That being said, I don't mind, like you just got to go with it. Everybody's just kind of, he's an older Boba Fett, and it's just time. It doesn't matter. Don't think about it. Because he is just so good. He gives these perfect looks at things that are just like the right take. He's really great. I'm really
I
glad we're
love his
finally
crazy
getting to
eyes.
see that guy show his chops.
He does have like the crazy face when he goes in to like fight someone. He gets the
Oh
crazy
yeah,
eyes.
yeah, it's the best.
It's
I
the
was gonna-
face of
for
someone
a
who's
laugh.
been fighting behind a helmet for many years,
Yep.
and they don't realize that they're doing it.
Yeah. For the funny moment of the episode, I really liked 8D8 like poking his head out from behind the Rancor.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
while they were talking
yeah.
about it.
Oh yeah, that was
That gave
pretty
me a big
great.
laugh.
I mean, what perfect casting is Matt Berry for as a droid. So good.
Yeah.
I damn it, so good.
Let's see. Theryl's got the next super chat. They give episode 3 an A, so a high ranking. The Max Rebo painting got ruined. That was like a little Easter egg.
Yeah, I
The
did see.
painting.
All I saw was Jabba in it. Wasn't Jabba in it, or
Mhm.
there was a hut in it.
It
I
was
did not see Max Rebo. That's hilarious.
It was a Macquarie art
it's-
that
yeah.
they
Oh,
snuck
was
in
it?
there.
It was actual. No.
Yeah, they just took Luke out of it.
Yeah.
It's
Oh, that's
supposed to be concept
hilarious.
art of like Luke standing in front of Jabba, and they just took Luke out of the painting.
Yeah.
I mean, for the dopey two guys carrying something and it's going to get smashed by the chase scene.
Mhm.
It went by so fast that, it really is like if you freeze it, you see the thing. Otherwise, it's just going to blast right by you. Because I should have spotted Macquarie and I didn't. All I saw was a flash of Jabba and then a smash.
It happened really quick. They also mentioned that we got a nice Night Sister mention, which are the witches of Dathomir.
Yeah, which was so awesome. He did say it out loud in a live
Yeah.
action TV show. You
Also,
better pay up.
Water's only 5 credits at Whataburger, and the Raiders
Whataburger.
killed the NFL. I don't know anything about football, so I don't know what that means.
Oh, yeah, they're talking about the Las Vegas Raiders, I guess. I don't know. Maybe that's somebody from Oakland. I don't know what.
Do we look like people who keep up with sports?
I watch football,
No.
but I don't know how the Las Vegas Raiders ruined anything.
Yeah.
Unless you're from that town or you're from Oakland where they moved from. I don't know. I'm sorry, person who wrote that.
Jon Snow Rules, thanks for the next question or super chat. It would be cool if we saw Dr. Aphra eventually.
Oh my God, I want that so bad. Who do you think would play her though? Some unknown? You think they'll just get a
Who's the
groovy
girl
unknown?
that people have said they wanted to
I
play
think Chloe
her?
Bennett. I've seen that casting.
Who's that person?
I don't know.
That's
I
the
don't think
problem, is
she's
I
going
don't
to
even
show
know
up
the
in.
young story. Who do you think there's going to be some kind of reveal? There's going to be a big character at the end of this season. There's got to be. Who do you think it's
Cad
going to be?
Bane. Cad Bane.
You think it'll be Cad
is
Bane?
he
You think
big
we'll get a
enough,
live action
Do you
Cad
think?
Bane?
I mean, he's big for us.
He's
I
big
don't
for
think
me.
he's like running
He's big for me
anything.
because I love
or-
that cartoon, but other
Oh,
people
yeah, yeah.
won't know him.
I mean, like we would all be excited, but I don't know that. Like my parents, that's what I always go to. The very casual fan, that would mean nothing to them. they'd be like, "Oh, cool bounty hunter."
But it's
man,
a
I
cool blue
guess.
guy with a cool hat.
Yeah, I mean,
and
which
cool
does
guns.
its job, right? And then you find out that he's got a whole backstory in the Clone Wars.
Yeah, but I feel like you're suggesting, is someone Luke Skywalker level going to show up?
Mm,
Well, no, just somebody like that, somebody from the universe that they're suddenly going to reveal. You know what I
Okay.
mean? Is it Thrawn? Who is it? Where is
I would
Thrawn
hope-
going to show up? That guy's going to show up in live action somewhere. Where is that? The
Yeah.
Andor? What show are we talking?
Probably Ahsoka.
yeah.
Maybe
Ahsoka's
Mando.
the
Oh,
one
right,
that-
they've already dealt with one another, right?
Yeah. And she was the one
Maybe
to
She
name
Mando
drop
disappeared
them.
with him, right? Or at some point?
That was Ezra.
Oh, that's
Ezra.
Ezra.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah.
He disappeared with him. Are we going to see Ezra?
Yeah, they supposedly cast
I
him.
keep forgetting about that show. Oh, did they? Right on.
Mhm.
Are we going to see Zeb?
I hope so.
Ooh.
I'd
that
love
would
to
be-
see what a live action.
Saw
Uh,
Zeb and Chrysanthemum duking
Yeah.
it out. Oh my god! Could you even imagine that live
Zeb would
action
get his butt
frenzy?
kicked.
I don't know. Zeb can hold his own.
Yeah, he's pretty tough, man.
He's one of those hairless Wookiees.
Yeah, right. He is concept art Wookiee
Yeah, that is true.
without his little elf shoes. They gave him cool feet instead of little elf shoes.
Captain Wrecked sent in another super chat and said, about the most terrifying wake up scenario ever. And I meant to pull that up earlier and I didn't, but that was.
He's
I
got
was
such
talking
a
about this
scary
moment again.
face.
Who? Black Chrysanthemum?
Yeah, he's also got very intense eyes, and yeah, just seeing him, you don't want to
whoever
see
they
him
cast,
like
who's ever
standing.
under all that hair. He's got great eyes, man.
Kerry Jones, I think is his name.
Mm.
Monty Python? He's old, if not dead. Ken Plume, where are you?
Casey
Can't
Jones.
help. But yeah, seeing him first thing after you wake up is not a good thing, unless he's bringing you
it
breakfast in
wasn't
bed.
even time to wake up.
True. Yeah.
Dream interrupted. I mean, not that it was a happy flashback. It was one that he was probably glad to be pulled out of because he was remembering all the sadness of
Yeah.
losing his tribe.
But then he got his butt whooped in his little back to diaper outfit.
Yeah. Yeah, he did. But he's going down that Ben Solo shirtless path, though, man. That Kylo Ren, let's see it. More shirts off, boys. Get them shirts off, boys.
Get them shirts off.
See what's going on.
Jane Dalton, thanks for the super chat. So we've obviously seen British accents in this. The first time we've heard somebody use the word, first time we've heard somebody use the word mate as in friend? It felt a little odd
man,
to
that
see.
yanked me out of it.
Did it?
No, he said it a couple of times, or it's appeared a couple of times, hasn't it?
I didn't
Anyway,
even notice it.
it's
It
He
didn't.
said like
jarring,
no
right?
hard. Didn't he say like no hard feelings, mate?
Something
Oh,
like
yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, that didn't jump out at me at all. But the word Finn, I was like,
see,
what
like
is
I did
this?
not notice that at all. But I love old timey crap like that.
It's funny. It's just funny what jumps out at some people and not at others.
But yeah,
Yeah.
mate totally like pulled me right out. In a way that, in a non-fun way, the way that Danny Trejo pulled me out, because I just went, Danny Trejo out loud alone.
Jon Snow rules. Thanks for the super
He's
chat.
back.
Yeah, I loved how they referenced Dathomir in the episode. Me too. Anytime they bring it, even if it's just a mention and they're talking about stuff that's happened in animation, or I mean, what they were talking about was from the books back in like 94, I think.
Oh my God.
Courtship of Princess Leia came out.
Give me those Night Sisters
Uh-huh.
movies and TV shows. Give it to
Mhm.
me. Force Witches, come on, man. Come on.
I
Have you
think it
played
would be
Fallen
cool
Order?
to see them in the Acolyte.
Have I played Fallen Order?
The video game.
No.
There's some good Night Sister stuff in that.
Is there?
Mm-hmm.
Right on.
Cassia Pidgip. I'm sorry if I butchered your name. Thanks for the super chat. If Moochie is an adolescent Rancor, why did she look so much smaller than Boba's?
Right, his name was Moochie. I do remember that now. Moochie. Moochie.
Yeah, that one was pretty small, but I mean, I think they just needed it to be not too much bigger than Omega.
And maybe
know.
Moochie was a baby. We don't know what a Rancor's lifespan is, or do we? How much do we know about that creature?
I don't know its lifespan.
I
do
don't
we
remember
know?
if they said if it was
Is
an
a Rancor live birth or from an egg?
Also a good question.
Big egg.
See, there's many questions we don't know about a Rancor and their various phases of life.
They are from eggs.
Oh, they could have different subspecies, like that are bigger or smaller.
Totally. Yeah, somebody has a Yorkie poo of a Rancor, and somebody has a Doberman and a Mastiff.
It's also like they called this one a calf, and I'm like, I don't know. We still consider Hilo, our dog, to be a puppy. He's huge, so maybe their Rancors are considered calves for a long time.
Yeah, they might be. I mean, when does a calf become a cow? I don't know. At some point.
When it
Maybe
has its
his little Rancor
quinceanera.
nuts haven't dropped yet. We don't know. We don't even know if it's a boy. We don't know anything about this Rancor yet. Maybe its ovaries haven't dropped. Does that happen?
I hope not.
Miranda here. Thanks for another super chat. From Blurg to Rancor to Mythosaur, Journey of the John Wayne Beast Taming. Maybe, but
it's another trope, yeah.
We haven't seen Boba Fett writing anything yet outside of the holiday special. So is he just trying to one up Din at this point? Are they going to keep one upping each other?
Yeah, oh man, maybe that does kind of throw into question. Will we see him ride it, or will they?
We will.
I think so.
We will. We really will.
Although Din took down a
because
great
that
dragon.
toy is going to be so badass. That's why we're going to see it.
That's true.
The Boba riding a Rancor set for $79.95.
Not a lot of Rancor toys. Alex came in here and
they didn't make it on that ASLab.
They
charged too much and didn't give enough.
I know that Din rode a Blurg. I'm saying we haven't seen Boba Fett ride a Blurg.
I wasn't a big fan of the Blurgs. I guess I'm not a big fan of the Blurg. I thought he was good for Kuat. What's Nick Nolte's Ugnaughts name? Kuil. I thought that was a good beast for him. But getting a man on a Blurg is kind of dopey looking.
Yeah, they have such a funny,
wobbly and weird, and
they have such a funny design. It's literally just a mouth and a butt.
Yeah,
back to back,
and legs,
tiny little arms, little T-Rex arms.
They're a goofy mount, but I guess they ride all kinds of crazy shit. Tauntaun really isn't that great.
They ride what they have.
They ride what they got. What was that one lizard thing Obi-Wan rode in the third prequel? Remember that?
The
rode some
Varactyl.
lizard thing around.
The Varactyl.
Before he killed.
I always think of the Arlnauts. They call it chicken horse.
Good old chicken horse.
Because it has feathers, yeah. It's fancy. Lucky Croc 108. Thanks for the super chat. Boba Fett seems to be quite the animal lover so far. Oh, Boba Vet is what they called them.
Oh, see. Oh, yeah. That's good.
I did when he came into town in the flashback, he gave the Bantha the same ear scratches that he gives the Rancor, and I'm like, oh, he loves animals.
It
is funny. People were talking about the holiday special today, and so I was watching the little animated segment where he's riding that thing, and he is not nice to that dinosaur
he's
thing.
Bonking it on the head and doing all kinds
wax
of stuff.
it. And that was don't feed it.
That was the 70s, man.
Yeah,
you could beat a animal right there. Nobody would say
Well,
anything.
I'm glad Boba Fett has changed.
Times were tough.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. One of those little desert dog creatures that were also put on the table as feast, which I was like, ew, gross. He likes those. They're eating dogs. Ew. He knocked that one out and then pet it. Right? He was just like,
Yeah.
sort of when he loosed his rope before that Rhodian ratted him out.
Hmm. Yeah,
Effing
he, like-
Rhodians. Come on.
He knocked
Planet
it
full
out,
of
but he was
snitches.
like, need to be nice to it still. Yeah, that Rhodian was a jerk, and we don't know why.
Because there's a Rhodian. I'm assuming. Are there any Rhodians that aren't? I guess there were some Jedi ones, weren't there?
I guess he was trying to get on the Tuscans' good side. Like, maybe they'll let me go if I show them that this one.
Yeah. I'm in this. Yeah, I'm going to gain some favor.
Mm-hmm.
Being
Howdy,
a
it's David.
narc.
Thanks for the super chat. Better to go slower on the back of a bantha than try to walk those distances in the desert on your own feet.
Yeah, unless you're Black Chrysanthemum, in which case you just take on a swift jog when he gets let
He
go.
just sort of
Well, that's
trotted away.
you're going right
It
into
was
the.
just kind of like, oh, he's just gonna run away. Like
The next super chat is from Lucky
Hey
Croc
man,
again.
why don't you stay for dinner or something?
It says,
Black
I laughed when
Chrysanthemum.
Black Chrysanthemum jogged out of the frame like an extra who wasn't supposed to be in this scene.
Yeah, he just trotted away. It was probably the dumbest exit in any Star Wars anything. Like he was
Maybe he
so
thought he was already out of frame.
anticlimactic. That's what I was just like, oh, what? He's done? Like, you're done. You're cut. It was like somebody hearing at the end, like the cameras are off and everything. You're like, okay, you're cut. Because then you're like, oh, I'm off to craft services. Like, it looked like that.
He's trying to
Let me go
show
get me a-
off and make them believe that he could run at that speed all the way back to town.
Yeah, watch me. I'm going to run the whole way.
Mhm.
Banthas can screw themselves.
It is wild to think that. I mean, it looks like everybody walked to Jabba's palace. We don't know how far that is.
You know, that I thought about that too in one of the establishing shots of this show, where it's just like, how far? That's an old monastery that, was, I'm sure, desolate when it was an operational monastery.
I mean, think about in the first
So-
episode when he gets beat up in the street and he's like, Gamorreans, take me to the Bactopod. And then they dragged him
Yeah.
from Mos Espa all the way back to the
Well,
temple.
I mean, we also do know that there are, Mandalorian has established some sort
Lucky, I
of
think you got
taxi
muted.
service. What?
Or did
No,
my
I
headphones
think
die?
your headphones died.
Oh no, Alex's
Yeah,
did. Oh, his things went out. We
Oh,
have
God.
seen taxi service in the first
That's
episode of The
true.
Mandalorian, right? So taxi services do exist.
That's true. Brian Posehn
Yeah,
was the taxi guy.
yeah, he was the
I assume they
beginning
have-
of the comedian cameos in cool Star Wars. I love that these two shows, the Mandalorian themed shows, are like, we're going to use comedy, people who are known more for their comedy, and we're going to use them as cool little cameos.
Yeah,
It's great.
I'm waiting for Patton Oswalt to show up somewhere. I think he.
Yeah, I gotta
be
think he'll
perfect.
some kind of crazy creature, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he's
Hopefully.
he's gonna have to be either heavily made up, because he's so Patton Oswalt, no matter what. You can't just throw him in whatever. You can't walk on as a Jedi and you're gonna like, oh no, I buy him as that. You're just gonna go with this Patton Oswalt, right? You're gonna have to put him either in like an animatronic thing or just a lot of makeup where you're just like, it doesn't look like it, but it's clearly,
Yeah.
Well, they're getting a lot of comedians for voices.
Yeah.
Mhm. Give him. Yeah. Maybe he's a droid.
No, I mean, across the board, they're using them everywhere. It's great. Bill Burr.
Yeah. Let's see. Ice, thanks for the super chat. Loved this episode. Black Chrysanthemum's fight was epic. I love how accurate he was to the comics. And Danny Trejo in Star Wars? Hell yeah. Great surprise.
Yeah. 100%. Thank you, Robert Rodriguez.
Mm-hmm.
I loved that fight. I thought it was great.
Yeah. So
just
good.
every hit felt brutal. Throwing Boba Fett like into the Bactopod and into his armor.
Yeah.
just knocking him around. I thought it was so fun.
And then
Yeah.
the death squeeze.
Yeah.
So good.
I tweeted today that I would like to have Black Chrysanthemum be my chiropractor.
Yeah.
Give me a good
Right. Give you
crack
those
on the
good,
back.
just like, cross your arms. And although, would it? Or would it just be like, oh God, no.
Yeah.
You broke
they
3
just
ribs again.
break me in half.
Yeah, but does your
there
back
will
hurt?
always be ribs gone.
Right. My ribs hurt, but does your back hurt? I fixed it.
I don't know anymore because I'm having too much trouble breathing.
That'll be 8,000 credits.
Yeah.
Ian Nofield, thank you for the super chat. I don't know why, but I love that Finnick's gun has a throwing knife.
Yeah.
Yeah, she took that out
she
twice
had that.
in this episode.
She had it in The Mandalorian as well, because I think she threw one at Toro or Din. But I like the idea that it's like a Pez dispenser or something. Just a bunch of little thin knives.
Yeah, maybe the stock is full of little blades, throwing blades.
I think it is.
Oh, great. I mean, it makes sense, right? It's not a one and done situation or like, no, you got to go pick it out of the guy's skull.
Yeah.
It's like, throw it and run. Don't worry about that knife. You got 8 of them in here.
Plenty of
how many
refills.
knives a stock holds in the Star Wars universe?
Probably a lot. Maybe she
they're pretty
makes the
thin.
knives.
I wish we could find out by seeing anything about the character.
Yeah, I think
I
we'll get
want to
more
love
from
her so much. Her costume's badass. The actress is badass. Like, it's like a home run across the board, except they're not giving her anything good to do.
Yeah.
Mm.
She's basically
don't
just
care.
stood there and like nodded or told Boba Fett what
Yeah,
to do.
or
And he's
answers
like, I'm not
questions.
going to do that.
Yeah, she gives him advice. I think we should do this. No. Okay.
All right, whatever.
Yeah.
Ice with another super chat says, just learned Trejo is Robert Rodriguez's cousin. Is that true?
Oh. Mm.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it
that
certainly
would make
makes sense. And I would say Robert Rodriguez is, I'm sure, responsible for America falling in love with Danny Trejo over the last several decades, because that was really his introduction on a wide scale, was in
I think
Rodriguez
Desperado.
films. So, but yeah, man, just what a gift. Really,
Yeah.
I'm over the moon that Danny Trejo is in here.
He is his second cousin.
That's the best. I love it.
That's cool.
Frank Donatelli with our last super chat says, Molly, nice hair. And favorite Book of Boba Fett outfits so far.
Thank you. What is our favorite Book of Boba Fett outfit so far?
I don't know.
What do you mean outfit? Like costume piece? Like who's wearing
I'll just
the
go Black
coolest-
Chrysanthemum. I love his little minimalist, just golden armor and brass knuckles.
I'm gonna go with that mayor, man. That
Yeah.
mayor's great.
I'm going
I did.
with,
Okay, go ahead, Molly.
I was going to go with Max Rebo because he just wears his piano.
Yeah, he really
That's
does.
true.
He wears a piano around his gut. Doesn't he like not have feet or something? What is the deal with Max Rebo?
He only has feet. He has no arms.
Yeah, he plays with his feet, so yeah, he doesn't have
Oh,
arms.
that's insane. Is he just like sitting way back? How does he do it?
Yeah, he's just sitting there and playing with his feet.
That's like, what's the Doug? Are we ever going to see more Dougs? Shouldn't they?
Oh,
where
yeah.
were the Dougs from? What's his face that
Malastare.
used to race Anakin? What's that guy?
They're
Yeah.
not from Tatooine, but you just feel like you should see them.
Why are we
Sebulba.
seeing any of them? I really liked that design. I liked that character. I thought he was great. This is one of the few things I really dug about those prequels.
Yeah, the pod racers were cool.
Yeah, those were great vehicles.
We see more Dougs in the Clone Wars, but yeah, it would be cool to see another one.
Like, make it
Somewhere.
a character. There should be a Doug in this.
I
Why
would
isn't his
love
little
it if
hench-
we.
Why isn't one of his little crew a Doug?
Yeah, I would love it if we saw a Toydarian.
Man,
Get Watto in here.
I would
Yeah,
love it.
What's Watto up to?
Yeah, isn't he supposed to be begging or no? That was in the third prequel, wasn't it? He was a beggar. Wasn't he begging or something in that one?
He
in
had
the
his
second
shop
one-
still, but
Yeah,
just
he was
wasn't.
just not doing well.
Yeah. How long do Toydarians live? We saw. I mean, we
I
did
don't
see
know.
them in the Clone Wars, of course. But yeah, seeing another one in a live action property would be badass. Or several. Force doesn't work on him. It's great. Why does that? Why not? Why is that?
Yeah, just doesn't. It doesn't work because it needed to not work in the story.
Yeah, I'm a Toydarian. It doesn't work on me. I have anti-midichlorians.
Although,
in
what
my
if he was
blood.
just saying that so that he wouldn't use mind tricks on him anymore? And like, that's actually not true. That's so smart. Like, oh yeah, that stuff doesn't work on me.
These Jedi, they'll believe anything you tell them. It doesn't work on me, man. Oh, okay, great.
Just
I guess
walk
I'm
around with a sign that says,
Obi-Wan, put away your
Jedi mind tricks, they don't work.
Man.
Don't even try it.
Don't even try it, guys. Hold on. I gotta write a message to everybody. Hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Trust me,
tell
it'll be
everybody to
hilarious.
tell
The Jedi will hate it.
Just tell them it doesn't work.
Well, that was about perfect timing because we need to head off soon because in an hour we're going to be on the Resistance broadcast after show. Still, we're going to talk about the Mandalorian or the Book of Boba Fett even more with our friends over there. So make sure you do that in an hour. But Lucky, where can people follow you online?
On the Twitters and the Instagrams at Lucky Yates. I'm not hard to find.
And where can they watch your stuff?
At this point, you can watch Archer on Hulu. All the seasons that exist are right there on Hulu. FX on Hulu. FXX on Hulu, I should say. Archer. And, if Dad's Garage ever opens up back up again, you can always see me at Dad's Garage.
Fingers
And
crossed.
you'll usually see us there too.
Yeah, you definitely will.
Well, thank you so much for
Thank you for
talking
having me.
Star Wars
This was a true delight. I love Star Wars. Lifelong fan.
And thank you everyone for watching and sending in your questions and super chats. I look forward to talking about episode 4 with everyone next week. But until then, come hang out with us over on Resistance Broadcast show in 1 hour. But we will see you all later. May the Force be with you.
Bye.